Welcome, Sens Talk.
Russell winds in, feeds it back across the track and scores! Brady Tkachuk makes it 2-0. Claude Giroux, hit alone, scores!
Tim Stutzel across, Tkachuk score! The captain, Brady Tkachuk, buries it with 1:18 to go.
See you later. Go, Sens, go.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I am your host. Tonight, Ottawa took on the New Jersey Devils as they look to avoid losing 4 straight games. Now, look, I want to be honest from the get-go. I'm a little bit under the weather right now. I don't know why. It kind of just happened in the last few hours, but I have a bit of a sniffle, so bear with me in today's video. Now, before we get into the actual game itself, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about that happened before the game. So firstly, from the Ohio State, Stephen Halliday, the 4th-round pick of the Ottawa Senators, has signed with the Ottawa Senators on a 2-year entry-level deal. That deal will start next year. Right now, he's on an amateur tryout with the Belleville Senators. This is good, of course, for many, many reasons. I believe it allows him to reach UFA status a little earlier, but as well, it allows the Ottawa Senators to not burn a year off of his contract. So it's a win-win for both sides. And most importantly, he gets to play in Belleville, to play there for that playoff push, and of course, potentially in the playoffs if they get that far. So this is a great, great prospect who's really blossomed at the Ohio State. In 38 games, he had 10 goals and 36 points. He's 6'3", 214 pounds as a center. So the physical tools are there to be a great, center in the National Hockey League. He has the offensive output in a very tough league like the NCAA. Let's see if it translates over to the pro game, though, in the AHL and maybe one day in the NHL. But this is a prospect that you should definitely keep an eye on. He has skill, he has the size, and he's at the position that's always at a need. So this is the type of player to keep an eye on, especially when Ottawa has a very empty prospect cupboard. So welcome to Ottawa, Stephen Halliday. Looking forward to see you play. Now, speaking of Belleville, Angus Crookshank, friend of the show, absolute beauty, was called up for this game. He scored his last game in the National Hockey League against the Arizona Coyotes and Connor Ingram. And tonight, and I mentioned this the other day, Angus Crookshank, this guy's been tearing it up whenever healthy in, NCAA with New Hampshire, and of course in Belleville with the, Belleville Senators in the AHL. When called up, he's never really got an opportunity. 4th-line minutes, 3rd-line minutes, nothing more than 10, 12 minutes, not a true opportunity. That would change tonight. He's on a line in the top 6 with Claude Giroux and Tim Stützle. I don't know how better it can get, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just say, we'll be talking about Crooker soon. Love this guy. And it's great to see that he's actually getting an opportunity with the Ottawa Senators in a real position. I think already he's an NHLer, but by next year, there's no doubt in my mind he will be on the starting roster after camp. But this is a guy that has a lot of skill, but also a lot of peskiness. So a little bit of grit there as well on that 3rd line that he can bring. This is a great overall package of a player here. And Crooker, once again, he brings that tenacity, he brings that energy, he brings skill. He's a fantastic skater. He's exactly what you want on the wing on the 3rd line. So to see him get a true opportunity in that top 6 was great to see. And yeah, as I already mentioned, we'll be talking about Crooker very, very soon. So that's enough rambling. Let's get right into the game recap. So for Ottawa, Joonas Korpisalo starts, and for the New Jersey Devils, Jake Allen starts, who's been frankly fantastic since his trade over from Montreal. So a bit of a tough test here for Ottawa, but let's just say for the Devils, they wouldn't do Jake Allen any favors, and that starts just 5 minutes into the first period of play as Matty Joe, shorthanded, puts it home on the breakaway. 1-0 Senators. Mathieu Joseph's first goal since February 19th, his 11th of the year, gives Ottawa the 1-0 lead early. Zub with a nice little pinch pass near the offensive zone for Ottawa. Springs Joseph the other way for a breakaway. Joe puts it past Allen, who got a good piece of it, but as you saw on your screen a moment ago, just squeaked by him to give Ottawa the 1-0 lead thanks to a shorthanded goal for Mathieu Joseph, his first shorthanded goal of the year. He had 3 last year, so nice start there for Ottawa, who have the lead for the first time in 191 minutes of game action. That is absolutely unbelievable. That's nearly 3 games in a row without a lead. So great start for Ottawa, where they would lead after 20 minutes of play. They would have 3 power plays in that first period. They would score on nothing. They would score 0 power play goals in that first period of play. Not much of a shock, however. This power play has been absolutely terrible all season. It does not matter, though. Thankfully, Ottawa does lead by a goal, but that will be short-lived as we go into the second period of play. And, of course, Jesper Bratt would take the Senators' lead and kick it away. They tie it up at 1-1 after a brutal turnover here from Shane Pinto on a drop pass to Jacob Chychrun. Chychrun doesn't see that. Jesper Bratt does, though. He goes off on a breakaway, slips it past Korpisalo on his 5-hole to tie things up at 1. And then 30 seconds later, you just can't make it up. This team is laughable. The end result we like, but when moments like this happen, and this is not the first time, this has happened many, many times this year, all you can do is laugh at this point as Thomas Nosek sneaks his way to the slot, of course puts it home, 2-1 Devils. Of course, the Senators are caught puck watching and leaving the slot wide open. That is the Ottawa Senators special as the Devils take the lead for the first time in this one. It's 2-1. But thankfully, though, just a few minutes later, Ridley Gregg is starting to heat up. What a goal! Inside, outside, dancing around Jake Allen. Senators tied at 2. Ridley Gregg with a second goal in 3 games. His 11th of the year as well. Shout out to Matty Joe. They both have 11. Shout out to Alfie, 11-11. Alfie. Apparently, Sens fans in the crowd today were chanting Alfie at 11-11. So, shout out to them. Shout out to Alfie. Shout out to Joseph. And shout out to Ridley Gregg. A lot of 11s today, which is interesting, to be honest. I'm looking at the numbers here just to go on this theme. 11 block shots for Ottawa today, so it's the day of 11. What can I say? But Ridley Gregg with a fantastic goal here, dancing around Jake Allen to tie things up at 2. Once again, his second goal in 3 games. Great goal there for Ottawa. And that would not be the last one, as only 2 minutes later, oh my, we love to see it. Whenever a friend of the show does something beautiful in the National, we clap. And we are going to clap here as Angus Crookshank, Crooker puts it home. Top shelf where mama hides the cookies. Ottawa up by 2 as Crooker has his second of the year and his NHL career. 3-2 Senators. A nice pass here from Chabot as well. What a shot, though. What a snipe from Angus Crookshank. Ottawa again is up by a goal. It's 3-2 Ottawa, and then 3 minutes later, tic-tac goal. Thomas Chabot, Shabbat Shalom, 4-2 Senators. What a play here from Brandstrom, the franchise, and Al Capitano, Brady Tkachuk, as Ottawa goes into the third period, up by 2. It's 4-2 Senators after 40 minutes of play. I told you those missed power play opportunities in the first period would not matter. Ottawa, 4 goals. Get your Gabriel's Pizza tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the third period of play, and Ottawa will put some insurance on the board to make sure this one is not in doubt as the Drake Batherson on a nice little sneaky pass from El Capitano. Brady Tkachuk drives to the net, puts one home past Jake Allen. Ottawa up by 3. Batherson with 24 goals on the year, his first in 5 games, gives Ottawa the 3-goal lead to make it 5-2 as their Senators win 5-2 over the New Jersey Devils, snapping the 3-game losing streak as Ottawa has scored 5 goals in a game for the first time since February 13th. That's 21 games in a row. That's absolutely unbelievable. This is Ottawa's first regulation win in 14 games. That's even more insane. The Sens haven't gone this long without a regulation win since the 1995 season. Unbelievable. So a massive win. Snap the losing streak. Get the vibes up. Crookshank scores a goal. We love to see that, but most importantly, some frankly terrible streaks are over as Ottawa takes down the Devils 5-2. That should frankly effectively end the Devils season. A devastating loss for the Devils and a nice little win for the Ottawa Senators, who play spoiler yet again when things don't matter for them. Now, I didn't really mention Joonas Korpisalo's name too much tonight, but he did have a pretty solid night overall, stopping 18 of 20 for a 900 save percentage. You can't really complain with his performance tonight. I thought he made a few good stops there, especially midway through the game when the Devils were really starting to push. But you know what? You look at those 2 goals. That first one, a breakaway 5-hole. Don't really know what you want there from Korpisalo. And then the second one, I don't really know what you want from Korpisalo either. Nosek all alone, tip goal on a nice pass in the slot. with the the defenders caught puck watching. So overall, solid night there for Korpisalo, who didn't steal the game by any means, but definitely gave Ottawa a chance to win, which they did today. Now, shout out to Angus Crookshank. We already mentioned he scored that goal. We'd love to see that. 3 shots on goal, 2 hits as well, in just under 14 minutes of ice time. A fantastic game for Angus Crookshank. This kid should be in the National Hockey League. The only reason he shouldn't be in the NHL to finish the year is because Belleville is in a playoff push. I'd love for him to get more experience in the playoff type of atmosphere, so send him down for that. But this guy should definitely get some more games in the NHL before that this year. And then next year, as I already mentioned, he should be on the starting roster at a camp. This guy is an absolute gamer. He has the offensive skills. He's a fantastic skater. He's a pesky player. He brings energy. He's not afraid to lay his body on the line to block shots. He's the complete package. He's exactly what you want in your top 9, specifically in that middle 6. Crooker, of course, has been, frankly, one of the most underrated prospects since getting drafted out of New Hampshire. You go back to my draft recap video, I said this guy has middle 6 potential, and here we are. You look at his NCAA highlights, this guy was a walking highlight machine. To the ones out there that knew this guy from the beginning, this is not much of a shock. But to the new ones that are shocked at how good Crookshank has been in the last year or so in his development, don't be. I once again encourage you to check out his college highlights. I'm telling you, this guy was a walking highlight reel machine. Now, other than Crookshank, who once again had a fantastic game, I really do hope they keep him up here for at least another 5 games. Mathieu Joseph, fantastic game, 2 points, including that goal to open things up. 2 shots on goal, a block as well, and just under 14 minutes of ice time. Pretty solid game there for Mathieu Joseph, who, as I mentioned the other day on Twitter, I mean, it's unbelievable how close we were to trading, Mathieu Joseph to clear up cap space for Shane Pinto. Imagine a scenario where we trade Joseph and then just a couple days later, Pinto suspended for 41 games, so we wouldn't even have had to trade Joseph to begin with. That was a very realistic possibility that was very close to happening this year. Thank goodness that didn't happen. As many expected, he's had a bounce back here and in a big, big way. This, just like Crookshank, is a player you want in that middle 6, especially on that third line. Him, really Greg and Crookshank could be a fantastic third line for years to come for Ottawa, and they showed why tonight. Last couple players I want to mention is Jake Sanderson. Just played under 25 minutes of ice time. A lot of minutes, but he can do it because he's Jake the Snake with a block as well. Brady Tkachuk, solid game. Very quiet doing so, though. 2 assists, of course, 2 shots, 2 hits, just under 20 minutes of ice time. So a very good game there for El Capitano. Brady Tkachuk, as we leave it off with this, the best part of these videos, the Tankathon. So let's get into it. I'm going to open up the Tankathon here. All right, so we are good to go. Let's fire this baby up. First pick. Oh, let's go! Ottawa's winning on and off the ice. What a draw on the first spin out of 3. Here we go. Second one. That's kind of funny. The Devils, who we played tonight, get number 1 on the second spin. Ottawa drops 1. And for the third and final one, all right, we'll take first overall on the first spin. Forget about the rest of that. So, yeah, besides that, thank you all for watching. Just love doing that. It's always a bit of excitement at the end of the videos. But, yeah, what a win. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below as always. And, yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow when we play Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Should be a fun one for Edmonton. Probably not so fun for us, but we shall see. Maybe we'll sense them. Besides that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.